Jackson Arnold is going to love playing college football games. He should be easy for him. Practicing every day against OU's defense is brutal. Jackson's got all the talent in the world. Just don't throw the ball to the other team. That's it. Take care of the football. Take care of the football. It's going to be all right. I just need to see him take care of the football. I understand that it was one game against Arizona, but this is the one game we got to go on. I'm not going to throw it out just because I don't like the result. It's one game. See, as a Bama fan, I do think Oklahoma will be able to do really well in the SEC. I am a Bama fan, but I'm not delusional to think they can't win. Of course, I'm still saying Bama will beat Oklahoma. That's fair. I can live with that. As an Alabama fan, I can absolutely 100% live with that. I get it. That's fine. That's fine. I wanted to do a Colorado segment before I get up out of here because I know that there's been quite a bit of news, not about football, around Colorado, and I've covered some of it. But one of the questions that I was asked that I think is entertaining is, what does Shedeur Sanders have to do to win the Heisman Trophy? Fascinating. I have this top 100 ranking superstars coming out on Monday, ranked in 100 superstars in our sport, give you reasons as to why, what we're looking at, why I'm looking at it, who's the number one. Shedeur Sanders is high on the list. Okay. But to win the Heisman Trophy, the things that have to go right for him, I think really have to go right for him without question. He's got to throw for 4,000 yards. He's never done that at this level. He's struggled to get past 3,800 yards, but this is also a guy that when he's in his element, you give him time, he'll pick you apart. If you get pass rush on him, he has shown he'll hold the ball and or get hit. So he got hit 199 times last year, got sacked 50 times. One of the things that has to happen for Shedeur Sanders to win the Heisman Trophy, you got to get sacked fewer than 12 times. You got to get sacked fewer than 12 times. You got to get sacked fewer than 12 times. That's one a game. Can they protect him long enough to not let him get sacked more than once per game? Georgia Tech, able to do that most of the day against Florida State pass rush. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Next thing that's got to happen is he got to throw 6 INTs or fewer. That's never been a problem for him. He takes tremendous care of the football. It's one of the reasons that he's a first-round prospect. He is not going to throw the ball to the other team. What I just said Jackson Arnold can't do, Shedeur Sanders doesn't do that. It's rare to see him make a mistake in his accuracy or his read. When he is wrong, he's wrong to where nobody can catch it. Okay? It's very rare that you want to see him be inaccurate with the ball, and that really is his superpower. He can put it where he wants to, past 10, 12 yards. Those are traits you can't teach somebody. You can't scheme that in. You either have that or you don't. You got to be able to hit a shoebox from 50 yards away on the run. Okay. I think he also got to win the Big 12 title. I think that anything less than that, or at least going into that game, perhaps when a chance to win the Big 12 title, we're not going to have a Heisman finalist that is on a program that finishes 6-6. It's just not going to happen. I mean, we're not going to have a Heisman finalist that I think wins fewer than 10 games. So by that very statistic, it's going to be almost impossible for Colorado to make the Big 12 championship without winning 10 games. A lot of brutal math has to happen. But they also got North Dakota State to start on Thursday, Nebraska after that, Colorado State after that. All those teams can give them a hard time. They could be 3-0. They could be 0-3. You got to win all 3 of those if you expect Shedeur Sanders to compete for the Heisman Trophy. I think the last thing that has to happen is we have to come around to an understanding that he is as great a player as he is as popular a player, and that's going to be tough, right? It's not impossible. But one way I look at this is Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray entered the sport as a popular player. Best high school football player from Texas ever. Ever. First player to get selected in the Major League Baseball draft in the top 10 and the NFL draft in the top 10. After he was selected in the top 10, what people forget is we didn't know whether or not he was going to play at Oklahoma. It was an open question for about 6 weeks. And then Billy Beane said something I don't think he regrets, but maybe regretted in the moment, and said, we would be very upset if he did not play football at Oklahoma. And that cleared a path. The folks that were going to pay him his signing bonus said, no, we want to see you play football too. I don't think they expected him to win the Heisman Trophy, but even going into the conference championship game against Texas, That was not his trophy. That was Tua Tagovailoa's trophy. Tua got hurt. Kyler showed out. Kyler won the Heisman, where the hype matched the performance. And then truly Kyler performance going in the Orange Bowl against Alabama. He goes 300 yards past, 100 yards on the ground, and looked like he'd been through a war because Quinnen Williams was just on his behind, lighting him up, and the scoreboard reflected all of that. I also remember that game because Josh Jacobs absolutely trucked Robert Barnes, and that's the seminal moment for me, just ran him over. That was how overmatched Oklahoma felt in that game. But that being said, they're in that game, right? Say nothing of Dabo Swinney beating the hell out of Nick Saban 44-16. People didn't think that Clemson was going to be in that game. I think that is one way in which I'm looking at Shedeur Sanders in Colorado is, can that dude win the Heisman? Can Travis Hunter win the Heisman? Yeah, he can, but he's got to hold up for the entire year. What's great about Travis is that he has the ability to go both ways. His body holding up to all of that, I'm not sure. Last year, he took a hard hit from Henry Blackburn, couldn't much play. Toward the end of the season, it looked like he's running out of gas. Otherwise, does Alec Ironmaner go for 13 catches, 294, 3 TDs in a game that Stanford was down 28-0 at halftime and win? I don't think so. I think Travis has got to put together the performance that we would expect from Charles Woodson to win that award. And what did Charles Woodson do? He won a national championship. Going both ways. Not as often as Travis does. Not no 100 snaps a game. But he went both ways. And he was on the best team in the sport. I think that would have to happen for Travis Hunter. And Shedeur Sanders would have to not hit some of those marks that I've already put out in front of you. I also am very interested to find out what Dallin Hayden means for this offense, because last year, Sean Lewis was not really big on running the ball. It's not a run the ball offense that veer and shoot. It is. We're trying to get 2-on-2, 2-on-1 for our wide receivers and get quick passes to take advantage of people being out of alignment, not being able to line up because we're going so quick. Dylan Edwards doesn't really get a chance to shine as a tailback. He had that one great game against Texas Christian and fell off the map. I think with Pat Shurmur, you're going to see Dallin Hayden get a lot more carries. And one of the reasons he's going to get a lot more carries is it's easier to throw the ball when people expect you to run it too. If all we got to do is pin back our ears and go after you, that's what we're going to do. We're going to pin back our ears and we're going to go after you. That's what they would do to Shedeur. If Dallin Hayden can go for 900 yards on the ground, it's going to be a good Colorado football team. I'm going to talk well about that offensive line. We're going to talk well about how they're able to handle the ball. But these are all ifs, right? I realize that there are folks that somehow pop into these things and think, why are we still talking about last year, or why are we talking about stuff that hasn't happened? Because stuff hasn't happened. And what we have to go on is last year. I'm not going to make up a game to talk about. It's not how this works. We talk about the facts as they are. When the facts change, opinions change. They go beat North Dakota State by 28. Different conversation altogether. They go to North Dakota State and they don't cover the spread, which is 8.5 right now. That is also a different conversation altogether, to say nothing of all the stuff that's going on off the field. Robert Livingston has a lot to prove, has a lot to show. Never called a defense before. I understand that people think that he's great because he came from Cincinnati and coached secondary there, and secondary is really good. Charles Kelly is one of the best defensive back coaches I've ever seen. His defense was sorry last year. Okay? We just got a lot of things that we still need to answer. We have questions. Answer the questions. If the answers are in the affirmative, we will speak in the affirmative. We won't make things up. I just don't get that part. I'm never going to be that guy.